Action. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the IMHO.love show. I'm Lou Angelwolf. Here it is. It's the 25th or the 26th. 25th of March, 2020. And, boy, a lot's gone on since the last week. If you're in America, you are watching this show, you know that there's all kinds of huge changes going on here. There's a constant slurry of information coming at you. And that's why I'm kind of calling this show Untangling the Barbed Wire in Your Head. That's a little phrase that I picked up about myself. Sometimes you just get so much stuff in there and it just gets so jumbled up you don't even know what to think. But we're going to start out with something really, really basic, okay? And it's a blessing to be here. It's a blessing to be able to do this podcast, radio show, whatever you want to call it, and be able to communicate with my friends, people I don't even know, people on other formats, on other platforms. However this show goes out, the IMHO.love show is, in my humble opinion, .love. Because love is the thing. Love is the thing that is going to outlast all of this stuff. All this extracurricular activity, all this fear, all this, doubt. At the end, love will be standing true and right the way it always does. So that's just the way the world goes, and nothing really has changed. Although I did have a good marketing idea. That Life is Good thing, that's a multi-million-dollar company. They make t-shirts, they make spare tire covers for Jeeps. I think after all this, we're just going to put Life is Okay. Just have a guy with just like a half a smirk. Life is okay. We're happy to be here. But all this distortion that you're feeling, and I'm feeling it as well. I've been involved with this stuff almost 30 years. Conspiracy theory, alternative news, stories about things that aren't normal, abnormal. As a little kid studying UFOs and flying saucers, and then as I got older, that kind of progressed. And then I've had some really beautiful religious experiences in my life, real spiritual awakenings and groundings and liftoff. I've had it all. And all through my life, I've never really felt completely at home here on Earth. Always thought I had a line to somewhere else, and I still think that. So, but I just want everybody that's tuning in, I'm taping this on my phone, so I don't have who you are, and thank you so much, all of you, for tuning in. Please be sure and like this, and then share it as often as you like. If I make some points that you like or understand or agree with, or even if you don't, if you just want to use me as a counterpoint, that's fine too, because that's the show, in my humble opinion, and our humble opinion comes from the source of love. I try not to put any tilt or any sharpness or any jagged edges on what we're saying here, just trying to understand it from a peaceful, neutral, beautiful point, which is where we're all going to wind up someday. This life that you have right now is not about this, but we do need to be aware. There is a lot of stuff going on, a lot of crazy pressures from a lot of different sources, and I use myself as a test animal. Okay, I'm a big fur-covered, warm-blooded mammal, and I respond to this stuff as well. I've been I've been on the air a lot of years, and happy to share what I know. And I've been communicating for a lot of years, either as a stand-up comic. I certainly was blessed to spend some time in the pulpit as a associate pastor, and then as my life has rolled on, this message here, the imho.love show, has been a blessing. And this is on the 25th of March, 2020. So, you got all these extremes, man. You got people, you got the hospital counts coming in, and so many people infected with it, and there's people passing away. And it's really got you on the edge of the diving board sometimes. Well, I can tell you, back up a couple of feet. I listened to an excellent interview. My friend Kevin Rogers, who has Copy Chief, he's a copywriter of the highest regard. He had a guy on his show, a guy named Todd Herman, who had they say he was patient number 25 in New York City. He had the COVID-19 virus, and he got treated and he got released from the hospital. He said he had a lot of heavy respiratory issues, but he's better now. And he was a guy, I guess, in his 40s or so, good health. He recovered and he's fine. And consequently, his wife has it now, so they're going to work through that. And I thank him, Todd Herman, for sharing that story. And of course, my lovely brother, my beautiful brother, my handsome brother, Kevin Rogers, for having that on his show, which really was a huge help to me. Because what's happening is the way they're dishing this stuff up to you, okay, they're making you think if you get this COVID-19 virus, you're going to die. That's it. You're done. Turn the hourglass over. You're running out, man. You have, and they just make it seem all so absolutely horrible. And I'm sure it's not a fun thing to have. But a good amount of us are going to survive this thing. They say the mortality rate is anywhere from 0.2% to 0.25%. I can't make heads or tails of anybody's statistics here. And that's the other thing that's getting everybody confused. There's all these sources of information, all these numbers, and there's nothing easier to adjust or tilt or slant or stack than a statistic. In fact, 84% of all statistics are made up on the spot. Just like that one. I have no idea. And a lot of these people don't either. And they add factors that don't really count. Now, I'll admit, and from what I've studied and and of course, what else have I been doing but reading about this stuff? If you're old and if have some pre-existing conditions, especially COPD, like my beautiful mother, we're keeping her isolated. She has COPD and some congestive heart failure issues. So we're keeping mom nice and safe and clean, and we rinse her down every day with alcohol. No, we don't. But those kind of people, this is going to be a real drag if you get it. You could be part of that statistic between 0.2% and 0.25. That's what I'm gathering as realistic numbers. So I don't know where that number is. But if you're a regular person, yeah, you're going to get sick. Yeah, you're going to feel like hell for, I believe the whole thing is about anywhere from 7 to 21 days, depending on the individual. And that's a heck of a lot of time to be sick, man. And I feel sorry for everybody that has it. And, Godspeed, healing powers, all that good stuff. I hope it all falls on you. And as we contemplate these things, we contemplate our lives. I'm in Pinellas County, Florida. I live in a beautiful city called Clearwater. And Agua Clara, they say. It's a beautiful town. And in the county of Pinellas, which this is, there's 1 million people here in this little peninsula. And they put us on like not a lockdown, but on a stay home kind of a thing. Stay home, and you know what? With the uncertainty of it, please stay home. You're not going anywhere. If you have a business, there's nobody coming to your business. If you work from home, you're blessed already. Most jobs have shut down their regular workforce. Everybody's down to a skeleton crew. I've got stuff for sale out there in the world, but the phone ain't ringing, and I'm just riding it out. And I've been really blessed. I was wise enough to put a little money back, and I can survive a couple of bumps in the road here. I don't know how long, but, here we are. So what I'm saying is, even in the worst case scenario, say you get it, chances are you're going to be fine. Now, working on this vaccine, that's a whole nother gray area. I don't know what that's about. There's a lot of people looking to stick things in your body these days. I don't know about that part of it. That hasn't come yet. But here's something else. And a lot of my friends are conspiracy analysts, conspiracy theorists, wackadoo people. I don't know. There's margins here. There's margins here. And this is the way I try to make decisions. All the way over on the wildest side of this, there's a guy I've been watching for several years. He's got a YouTube channel called Richie from Boston. He's got 2 channels actually. And he's like at the end of his rope. He's thinking that we're not going to survive this, that this is the end of the line. And it's his do or die thing. And Richie, if you happen to ever see this, just know my heart is out to you, man. I understand the stress, or try to understand the stress that you're going through. He was a hardworking guy that got it all started with him watching chemtrails, and then his channel has just gone on for years and years. He's a smart guy. He's a street smart guy, which is always good to listen to at times. A lot of times your academics don't know about what's going on the sidewalk, but this guy does. So we're going to take that edge. Okay, that's the worst case scenario. He thinks this is all horrible. And then again, on the other side, you have people that believe this is a complete farce, that all these numbers have been doctored. They're also amongst the death count, they're counting those who are already viciously sick and are dying within the same time period of this. So like I said, the statistics are hard to track down and figure out what's exactly right. So in the middle there is our truth, okay? And aside from the virus part of this literally is a time for all of us. Somehow the creator of the universe is allowing this to be. My friend Johnny Rizzo said, man, God is really mad at us. I don't know. I don't know if that's true. But I'll also tell you, those of us who have maybe slipped away in the last few years, not been as, decent to ourselves, decent to others, a lower filling of the Holy Spirit, maybe those people, that this situation here, our Creator works in mysterious ways. He may be calling many of us back to His bosom. Start living a cleaner life. Start living for this next life a little more than the immediate future, or your instant gratification, or your materialism, or your possessions, or your sexuality. You may want to put all those things on the back burner, because this could be a call to many of us to come back to that truth, come back to that presence of the Holy Spirit that's in your life, and reflect in that, and be grateful in that, and be thankful in that. And that's where I'm at right now. There's I've covered lots of ground in my life. I was talking to my buddy Spanky, and he said a line that's great. He says, "We've lived the lives of 10 men." And I really have. I've had an absolute blessing. I've traveled all over the country, all through Canada, Mexico, the Caribbean. I even went to the Middle East. And I've met so many beautiful people, and I have so many wonderful friends. I really dare not complain just because I'm having a rough season right here. And another friend, I'm dropping names like, Robert De Niro told me, he goes, "Whatever you do, don't drop names." But here I am dropping names like a madman. I want to say hi to everybody, whether you're listening or not. But I can tell you, I read your Facebook posts and I read your emails and stuff like that. And I miss Mike. I miss Mike Merberg, who has disabilityattorney.net. I'm sure he's about to get real busy again after this smoke clears. That's Mike Merberg at disabilityattorney.net. If you have disability issues in the legalese, you won't find a kinder or more well-informed guy that can help you out. That's disabilityattorney.net. My friend Chris Sumstead, who's not Chris Sumstead, I'm sorry, Chris Sontag. Hi, Chris Sumstead, too, if you're out there. My friend Chris, she posted something that I thought was really interesting. It's 2 columns of things. And if you think you're stuck, I'm stuck in this house, I'm stuck in this situation, you're not. Chances are you're safe. You're safe in your house. You're safe in this situation. Okay? Say, "Oh, I'll get sick." Well, chances of you getting sick are really slim, actually. They're not as horrible as you've been trumped up to believe. You can take preventive measures. Stay at home. Wash your hands. Wipe down the surfaces that you live with. Wash your clothes. Do all the stuff that use hot water. Although I don't think the water gets hot enough to really kill anything. I don't know. That's another avenue. And you're going to run out of stuff. I'm going to be sitting here, cutting up one bean. I really doubt that's going to happen. Of course, I've been blessed. I went to the store a couple times. I got some stuff. I can keep it all together. And then they're going to shut down everything. Well, everything's kind of shut down already. You can't go to the mall. Can't go to the movies. Can't go. But the places that you'll need are open. The hospital's open. The pharmacy's open. The grocery store's open. Gas stations are open. Whatever. There's lots of stuff that's open. So you're not going to be shut out. Okay? And there are so many people just maybe for the first time in their lives dealing with this much uncertainty. Those of us have had personal issues, life or death situations where people were on a teeter-totter about their life. There was a huge amount of uncertainty about an individual or maybe a group. But this is the biggest group of individuals you've ever had to be concerned with. But just keep breathing. Call your loved ones. Get some sleep, man. I am so digging this nap program we got going on here, man. I sleep well through the night. I do my meditations. I do my prayers. And I get up in the morning and start figuring out what's going on. And I've been prepping for this show for a few days. And I'm very, very grateful for the rest. Maybe, because I've been running hard. I'm 60 years old. I've been working since I was 13. I don't know, maybe had a month or 2 off here and there, but never any long periods of time. Maybe I'm really supposed to notice how I'm supposed to relax and how I'm supposed to pay attention to other things in my life. So that being said, there's, in this Todd Herman interview, which you can go to Todd Herman, I believe his website, he's a life coach. Okay, he's a smart guy, and I was very impressed with the way he delivered all the information. he said, where we're at right now, this is a little piece. This was my little takeaway piece from his what he shared. He said, this is actually a military term called VUCA. It's an acronym, VUCA. The V is for volatility. We've been presented with a very volatile situation. There's a million things that can go wrong, okay? And the second, the U, is uncertainty. We are very uncertain about what's going on because you don't know who to trust. You don't know which news source to trust. They've all blatantly lied to us time and time again, okay? So that adds a huge amount of uncertainty. You don't know who to believe, okay? And then the C is chaos. Yes, there's plenty of chaos going on right now. Between watching people fight over toilet paper, people being rude to each other, idiots in the grocery store spitting on produce. I heard a harsh thing. The millennials are calling this this COVID-19. They're calling it the boomer remover. So apparently they're a little tired of us, but I think that's a little harsh. That's a little cruel. And the last A of the VUCA, volatility, uncertainty, chaos, and then the A is ambiguity, which is a lot like uncertainty and doubtfulness. We don't know what to do next, okay? So we're all in this holding pattern, and most of us don't like to sit and wait. We don't. We're very used to a very instantaneous society. I mean, you can have a fresh hot pizza at your door in less than 30 minutes. So we're not used to this sit around and wait for us and then try to decipher what the news cycles say, what the president says. There's just and the leadership in this country, both sides need to be absolutely ashamed of themselves. The president, I give him kudos. Any president, I give them the respect of the office. Okay. But this guy, man, he really is a bull in a china shop, and I don't like that kind of leadership. He really has that fly by the seat of his pants thing. Consequently, Como is scoring big points now because he's more believable, more together, less rattled, and the whole Congress and the House of Representatives, and they're trying to pass this stimulus package, but that stuff it full of pork amendments and addendums. Shame on those people. Really, 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 really shame on those people. But there is something going on that I want to tell you about, and I'm 90% sure on this. I've not been able to actually read the document itself. I haven't been able to find it in my form, but it was passed on to me, is that they passed the CE5 and beyond bill. Not CE5. Sorry. The 5G and beyond bill. So CE5 is the extraterrestrial stuff we do. The sky watches. Sorry about that. The 5G and beyond bill has swept through Congress and has become law. So that was probably part of the hang-up. And if you hear some of the YouTubers and stuff like that freaking out over the 5G thing, this could be the element that they were looking for, because it did get passed, to the best of my knowledge. If I'm wrong, I'll correct next week. So in that vein, okay, I had a post up a few hours ago called "The Lord of the Lemmings," and the Lord of the Lemmings is this 5G. It's the most powerful communication device ever created by any technology, any See, this is all the reverse engineering from Roswell, 1947. We've really been able to take it this far. This type of technology literally is so far beyond anything the average guy can imagine. And there's a lot of average guys, but we're the sheeple, we're the workers, we're the grunts, and we're the ones that carry the weight of this whole society on our shoulders. The upper echelons, they live different lives than we do. They're not out here trying to grind it out so we can get little pieces of printed cotton and trade it for goods and services at the best rate that we can, or the rate that's offered to us. We have issues now. There's no earning. So they're going to come at us with some offers. Apparently, they got the stimulus package. We're all going to get $1,200 or $1,500, and old people are going to get more, and that's all good. But in my 60 years, very rarely have I had a true free lunch. Lunch always costs you something, and these guys are just buying us lunch in the grand scheme of things. It's your money anyway. It's your money. All the money that the government has is your money. Okay? But the fact they're being so benevolent and then telling us that our Social Security benefits are a gratuity, or I forgot the word they used, but it wasn't the right word. This is our money, and they've been holding it for a long time. And if we would have had the wherewithal, actually, a friend of mine's mom, my buddy Mike, his mom told me years ago, she goes, take 2% of what you make and put it in a savings account. Doesn't really matter what it draws, but just leave it there and never touch it, ever, your whole life. And if I would have listened to her, I had some good years. I'd have millions of dollars in the bank now. But, I did dumb American things. I put mag wheels on race cars. I didn't pay attention. I really was running right down the middle of the stream. So, but these days, this is a big time for all this reconsideration. Think about where you're at, and what I see happening, though, we're going to come out of this. And on the other side, there's going to be a lot of changes. Taking things for granted, it's a hard thing to do. And not a wise thing to do. Always be thankful for what you got. But in these current scenarios, don't leave yourself so vulnerable to these types of things anymore. Be a little more prepared. That's your doomsday preppers. Hey, hats off to you. You guys are smart. You're sitting there, you got you're not getting it. You're not getting the coronavirus. You're living in a closed herd. You have food stockpiled. You have safe places to be, Congratulations. And everybody called you names for all those years. I never did, because I knew you were right. But I've had other obligations in my life, and I wasn't stubborn enough or strong enough to pull everybody with me to go do that. And I don't even know. I would have missed a lot of life being up on a hill somewhere. I just hunkered down for years on end. It wasn't my path. And I also remember in my days, and I've taught a fair amount of scripture in my life, and I know a lot of absolute wonderful truths and ideals that you can live your life, knowing that there's a higher power than you, there's a greater consciousness than you. Know that is your reality. That's where you're trying to be all the time. And there is a scripture, I should have looked it up with the verse, but I'm just flying by the seat of my pants at this point, like the president does. He who loves this life will surely lose it, but he who loves the next life will surely gain. So this is the whole karma thing. This is the whole reincarnation thing. This is the whole heaven thing. Just know that while you're here on earth, it's about you. It's about your relationship to the consciousness and it's about your relationship to other people. So treat other people the way you want to be treated. I can't believe we still have to say this, but we do. So be kind, be gentle, be understanding, especially to older people right now. There's a lot of them just scared to pieces, man. They're watching that news, and it's not coming out the way they want. So there's a lot of older people that are scared. And just be respectful of that and be passionate about that. Be empathic about that. Understand that there's a lot of people that aren't as strong as you. So I'd like to thank my friend Mark Cottingham. Thanks for paying attention to my feed, man. I really appreciate it. So on this middle of the week here, we've been doing the IMHO show for well over a year and a half now, and thank you. All the shows are winding up in the archives, and you can get them all. There's some great reads out there. My dear friend Debbie got me the Tao of Pooh, and I just got this in the mail. The Trigger, The Lie That Changed the World and Who Really Did It and Why, which is by David Icke. This thoroughly covers 9/11 and all the attaching incidences. And then, of course, this is what Mike is working on, is the next Beyond UFOs. My friend Kat Carroll, beautiful Pamela, thank you all so much for your love and your input. Thank you for staying in touch with me throughout the week. Marcy, thank you for the posts and just, I hear you all. And Kathy McGuire, she has some exciting announcements. The producer of the show, she has some exciting announcements in the next couple of weeks. So, you guys hang tight, take it easy, take a deep breath, man. Like I said, even if you get this virus, the chances are very, very doubtful that it's going to take you out. Okay? Just be cautious. You don't know. I don't know. The people on the talking box don't know. They don't know. So in this level of uncertainty, cooler heads will prevail. Question authority. I've been saying that forever. And, like I was talking about my grandpa a couple weeks ago, believe nothing you hear and only half of what you see. It's a very, very tough analysis, but it's one that could really pay off for you, because there's a lot of edgy information going on right now. And I hate to see friends in a panic. And it's part of my thing. It's part of my Lou Angelwolf thing. The whole Angelwolf character is the good side of something bad and the bad side of something good. And the bad side of this is I recognize what's going on, what's wrong. And the good side is I'm here to help you understand it. This really could be what all those years of doing stand-up and comedy and all that stuff was about. So I would be ready to speak to you now. And it's a privilege. I can't thank you enough for tuning in. Please like this. Please share this. It'll be on YouTube later on. It'll be on our BitChute. That's imho.love, which is the website. And it just gets shared all over the place. And thank you for the privilege. Thank you for taking your time, even though you have a little more of it these days, to sit in with me. And don't worry about it quite yet. I'm not saying I'll tell you when to panic, but you're not ready to panic yet. You guys, be cool. And like we always say on the show, use your head, but trust your gut. God bless. Be well. Shalom.